All right, we're gonna try to get a quick talk done. Are we gonna watch Elmo? You were literally 2 seconds away from falling asleep. No, now you're gonna watch TV? We're gonna watch TV so that mommy can do this quick talk. Oh. How many times a day do I get whacked in the face? Okay, so welcome to Mom Smart Info. I'm doing a quick talk today on my content creation strategy. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It really helps me. I am a full-time working mom who has a business on the side doing content creation and also helping other moms create science-backed strategies to help them mom better and mom smarter. So if you comment, like, subscribe, share all that stuff, that really helps a lot without it costing anything for you. Like I said, today's talk is going to be on my content creation strategy. I had to change my strategy basically because I didn't have a strategy. I was sporadically posting. I was very fortunate that I started posting a lot of short form content on Reels, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok. And I was monetized on Facebook and Instagram. And then recently I reached another monetization status on Instagram, which was really great. But I was so sporadic and I really got stuck in that like short form content creation, I guess, machine where I'm just posting reels for that quick entertainment for people. And the whole basis of my business is Mom Smart Info. Using a clinical approach to momming, which I trademarked. And what that means is using science-backed strategies to help you mom better, mom smarter. So really getting stuck just producing quick, short, funny content, dramatic content, because our life is fairly dramatic with my son, Daniel, who has a lot of medical needs. And of course, that's going to get views, right? So I was very lucky to have a few videos that got over 20,000-30,000 views. I was able to reach monetization status, and that's great. But I'm not actually going to get anywhere with my business just creating these really short form videos that are just there for like that quick dopamine hit. Those are great. There's a time and a place for them, but I didn't feel like I was organized, pushing those out all the time. So I had a very few busy weeks at work, my normal 9 to 5. So when I was done work, I usually would work on my business. I was too exhausted. And then we went away on business for a week. My husband works in IT. He had a business trip to Connecticut. I thought that I would be able to work from home in the hotel room, get some content done. That was a hilarious joke. I just had so much work to do, but so that by the end of the day, I was just too tired to do any of my work. And it was a hotel room. My son, myself, my husband was working 7 a to 7 p every day, and he wasn't getting back to the hotel until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And we brought our 2 dogs. So, he packed up his whole life and brought his whole family on a business trip. And in my mind, I thought like, okay, this change of pace is going to help clarify things for me, but it didn't. It just made things overwhelming. So I have been off for about a week now from my regular job. I needed that time to reflect and get some foundational things in place so that when my regular job does start up again, when that is over for the day, I can easily switch to Mom Smart Info, push out what I need to, and start making headway with it. So that, in a long story, is how I got to this content creation strategy. I will admit, and I do want to tell you guys, if you just hang on until kind of the end, not the very end, but I will give you the exact strategy. I do have an article about it. I'll link that. And I do plan to make like an actual Canva template for you guys. So I will link that in the comments when that's done. And of course, follow me on social media. You'll be able to see everything I do there. But where was I going with that? So I felt I needed, oh, that's what I was going to say. This is a copy of something that I learned from Dan Koe. So Dan Koe, gosh, I hope I'm saying his name correctly. He is like a brilliant man when it comes to a lot of things, but the one person business, social influencers, selling digital products, all that good stuff. So I really got into him lately, and he bases everything that he does, or a lot of what he does, off of a tweet and then goes from there. So I kind of took his template just from like the free things that I watched from him. He does have paid programs that if I was going to invest in a paid program, like he's the guy I would do it with, and I probably will soon. But he's the guy that it's just all laid out. Even if you watch his free content, there's so much valuable stuff that's what I did. I took from his free content. I created this template for myself, and today's the second day of me using it. Now you're going to say, Brielle, why would you bring this to us when you've only been using this for 2 days? We don't know if it works. Well, number one, it's a play off of what Dan Koe uses, and we know that works, right? Number two, I find that content creators so often make YouTube videos that say how I went from 0 to 10K in a month. And it's, several months after they did that. I do not see enough videos of content creators saying, hey, this is what I'm doing now to get to 10K. I am at the beginning of my journey, or I am, in the first few months or the first year of my journey, and I am making very minimal money online. I'm making some online. So that's a really nice boost for me to be like, okay, I can post things and actually monetize it. And the platform's paying me. It's not my audience that's paying me, right? My whole goal is to make a lot of my money from the actual platform itself, because I love to be able to bring free content to people and help people out. That's how I really have been helped, by watching other people's free content. So why not have the platform, pay me? But oh, I'm getting a visitor. Hi. All right, we can have a visitor for a minute. Sorry. I should have put pants on you for this, right? He's a real guy. He likes to just hang around. No, we bought cheap diapers. Don't buy cheap diapers. So we bought cheap diapers, and it went through to his pants, which I guess, happens. I was like, oh, wow, these diapers are so cheap. This is great. Well, now I know why. So anyway, that's why he lost his pants. So as far as content creation, this video obviously is geared more towards my smart moms who are looking to become content creators. But I think there's some takeaways in this strategy that could potentially help with just normal organization, like in your life or maybe your kid's life. So, I encourage you to watch, even if you're not into content creation. I definitely encourage you to watch if you are wondering, oh, what is this Brielle does? Could I potentially do this? Could I make money? Posting reels online. What is content creation? This isn't going to answer so much what content creation is. I think I'll do another video on that another time, but this is going to give my content creation strategy. So let's get to the actual strategy itself. Can you get down for a little bit, bud? Mommy's got to use this. Okay. So I have my notes here. Let's just I just want to talk a quick background. As I've said in my intros before, I am a full-time nurse. I do work mostly from home. I do have to go into the office periodically, but I do a lot of my work from home, which is very helpful to not have to have that commute. That helps with my side business, because at the end of the workday, instead of commuting for an hour, I could take that time to do content creation. I have a special needs son, Daniel. If you want to know more about him, I'll link some stuff, that you can read, past things I've done, so you can see what type of medically complex challenges he has. But he's incredible. But I'm running around every day after work to multiple therapies, sometimes doctor's appointments, not as many doctor's appointments anymore. It's a lot of therapies that he goes to. Sometimes I'll have to take him to 2 in a day, which, that can be time consuming. And I have dogs, cats, I have a husband. He works full time out of the home. So, he obviously contributes to the household and things that we do, but I'm the one who's home most of the time. And so I'm taking Dan to his appointments and doing all like the household stuff. He has a lot of other things he does. He also has his own business, so we're very busy. I have a flock of chickens and ducks. So you're probably thinking, well, how are you going to create content and like start a business? Well, the content creation is fairly easy. It's the other stuff, the editing, the posting, all of that, which I'll make a whole other separate video about that. But you can make content out of anything, right? But that was kind of the trap that I was going down, of like just that like quick dopamine hit TikTok, Instagram content. I really want to have more meaningful content like put in there. So this strategy is what that's for, that more meaningful content, that more educational content, what I can bring to my audience as a nurse and a mom of a medically complex child, what I've learned to try to cope with a lot of the things that I've gone through. That's the type of content that I plan to produce using this template. Of course, there's going to be those quick hits, those funny things. I do content with my husband sometimes. He's hysterical and he's always up for like filming something with me, or most of the time. It depends what it is, but most of the time he's like, okay, sure, like we'll do it. And that's great, but that doesn't really require as much planning. We can literally, I could show him a TikTok that I want to like model after, and we'll do that in like a second. So this is more so for just like, as Gary Vee says, like, what's the answer of how much content you should do? More. You need to produce more, and it needs to be valuable. So this is going to really help with my valuable content creation. So I have my template here. I don't even know. There's no way you guys are even going to be able to see that. Whoop, there we go. I don't even know if you'll be able to like screenshot that or not. I will, like I said, I'm going to make a Canva template for it, and I'll link it, in. If you go to any of my socials, my link tree is in there, and I'll have that at the very top within like the next couple days after this video, so you can grab that. So as Dan Koh says, like, start it with a tweet. So I don't know if anybody else has issues that when they can't be creative or they can't do what they feel they need to do to like get out into their soul, they get more depressed, more anxious. Like, that's how I feel. I have all these ideas and I haven't been able to get them out. So just being able to put them into a tweet, even before I've done any of the other content creation, has been so helpful just for like my brain, just for getting things out. So the first thing that I do is write a tweet. Now, here's the thing. You don't want to just be tweeting all day. Like, I'm using Twitter kind of as the brain dumping list. The good thing about the brain dumping list on Twitter is that you can see how well certain tweets perform. So if you tweet something out, and now this is saying you have like a larger following at this point. Like for me right now, my Twitter, I might have a fairly okay following on other social media platforms. I just started on Twitter, so I have 0 followers right now. So I'm not going to be getting a lot of data yet, right? But if you do have more followers and you tweet something out like, oh, the sky is red, and you get no feedback from it, maybe you don't create more content to it. Maybe people aren't interested in it. Okay. So like I said, you can't constantly just be tweeting things out all day. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't know. I think people might get bored of just seeing you constantly tweet random things. So I use an app called, I don't even know what it's called. I didn't even look what it was called before I started filming this video, guys. I don't even know what this whole suite is called. I think it's called Time Page. Just Google Time Page. It has a calendar. It also has like a flow page where you can like you can actually like, let me see if it'll do it. There we go. Okay. You can actually write, you guys can't probably see that, but you can freestyle write. You could probably upload templates. I don't know. I haven't even gotten into it, but what I like to use is the actions. All right. So I'm going to go to the start of my actions. I have in here. Nope. I'm going to have to show, I'm going to have to put screenshots up, but basically it's very, if you have ADHD, especially, I find this very, very easy to organize things. And if you have ADHD, you know that. Tell me how many planners you've gone through, and like digital planners, paper planners, calendar planners, right? So I have like a master list. So I have a list that says tweets, reels, future ideas. That's kind of how I categorize stuff right now. So the first thing is my tweets. And if I just maybe tweeted one or two things, I don't want to immediately tweet something. So I put it here in this little list, and it's very like, what's the word? It's really like user friendly. Like when you're done with it, you could swipe it aside, you can click on it and put like checklists in it. So I find this very useful. So I just have a list. And if I like turn to the angle, you could kind of see how many I have. I just have a list of potential tweets. So say I get done work for the day and I decide, okay, I need to do some stuff on my business. In the past, I was like, oh my gosh, where do I even start? What do I do? Right? Well, now I can come here and look, okay, what am I feeling? What do I feel like I'll be able to write about or tweet about? So I'm just going to use an example. Let's see, let me find one. Let's do, the one I tweeted about today. So the tweet that I wrote today, let's get to it here. Okay. Us moms always say we don't have time. Is it that we don't have time, or do we waste time? This could be controversial. So that is the foundation of my content strategy machine. The foundation, the very first thing is that tweet. So I tweet that. Next, I write a blog post about it. So I obviously have a lot to say about that. I don't just have one sentence. So I use medium.com to do my blog posts. And then I also can like automatically upload them to my own website. And then I could copy and paste them into a Facebook article. So right there is 3 different platforms that I just was able to put content on, right? This little guy just wants to be held. So I guess is that what we're doing? You just want me to hold you? Okay. So sorry if I'm like looking away from the camera. I gotta have him in my lap. All right, so we've done the tweet. Now we do the blog post, and the timing of all this could vary. You could do the tweet in the morning because you know later on you're gonna have time to write. You got to get into your own flow of that, and as I learn more, as I come up with my whole strategy, I will let you know. For example, today I wrote the tweet this morning, and I plan to write the blog post later on today after therapy. So you write the blog post. From that blog post, you then make your long form video. So I write about, what was the topic? I just had mom brain. What was the topic? Oh, moms saying that they don't have enough time, right? But maybe my theory, honestly, is that we waste a lot of time. We have more time than we think. I do think we're very busy, but I don't even want to get into all that. I just want to use it as a example for you guys. So moms waste time. They actually have more time than they think. I wrote my whole blog post about it. Now that blog post is a script for the video, for the long form video I'm going to do. I talk about it on a YouTube video. From that YouTube video, then I can pull little snippets for short form. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to go in that order. You might write the blog post, and then instead of doing a long form video, you might have another creative idea for the short form. So for that, saying moms waste time, instead of doing a long form, I might do a short form video using the, the reel where you hear the typing. So instead of doing like the YouTube video, I'm going to do a short form reel of me. And then maybe saying like, as moms, I feel like we waste too much time on our phones. What do you think? Right. And so that, of course, we can talk about more about that later, but that gives the audience a question so they engage with you more. Very basic stuff. So it could go either way. You do the YouTube video, you can pull content for short form, you do a short form video, maybe something that's funny. And then you do your long form video later. And then from that, your short form video goes on TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels. You can put it on LinkedIn. Just a quick reminder that you should never say you posted initially on TikTok. Do not post it to Facebook with that TikTok watermark. Do not post it to Instagram with that TikTok watermark. There are apps that help get rid of that. Just a quick for people who are super beginner, that is a very important thing. But you can essentially record that short form video and plop it on every single short form site within maybe 10 minutes. Your long form video, that goes up on YouTube. If you do it, say through Zoom first, you can pull that audio file and that can go to a podcast. I think there's also other programs that take a YouTube video and turn it into a podcast. So if it's something that is podcastable, let's call it, then you can put it right to a podcast. And with a click, there's software that with a click of a button, it can go to almost every podcast platform, right? So when I do a podcast, I don't upload it to Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, but this, I click one button and it disperses to all of it. And I can do more videos about that later, the ins and outs of how to do that. There's a lot of resources online on how to do that. So you can really just like look that up. But if you want me to make a video on it, let me know. So then the last thing that I would do potentially is make like a visual post. So you can use Canva. Maybe I do a visual post of a mom like scrolling through on her phone and maybe like her kids in the background, or like, I don't know, a messy house saying like, do we really not have the time, or are we not making the time? Something like that. Obviously, that's controversial. What I just said, like the whole setup might be controversial, but that's good. You're going to get engagement, right? So let's review. We just did one tweet, then we turned it into a blog post. We used that blog post as the script for your long form video. Then you pulled little snippets from that long form video and made it into a short form video, or you did like a play off of the topic for a short form video, and you made some type of visual post. Now, realistically, depending how much time you have, you can do components of this every day. Doing this entire thing, because I will tell you what takes the most time is going to be filming your long form video and editing it, because editing just takes a long time. And yeah, you might do it all in one take, but you're still going to want to put like your little intro in the front and, who you are and like and subscribe and all that stuff. So that's going to take some time, and writing your blog post might take some time. So realistically, are you going to do this process every single day? Probably not. Is it necessary to have a long form like video content every single day? No, once a week, twice a week, but you can get as much of it done as you want. And that doesn't mean you also need to post it that day. So say you have a day where you are off, or maybe on like a Saturday or Sunday, you go through this entire process, you do your tweet, you do your blog post, schedule out then when you're going to post the blog post. You don't necessarily have to post it the same day you do the tweet. Get your long form video done, edit it. Now it's just banked. Now you say, well, I always put new videos up on Thursday. Put it out on Thursday then. The key to this strategy, or not the key, I guess the point of this strategy is to take one singular topic and find multiple different content pieces from it. And then you got to kind of come up with the ins and outs of when you're going to post, how often you're going to post, how often you can go through this process. But this creative process allows you, one, to get the content out there, and two, even if you don't get the content out there that day, get rid of the frustration that you have all of that in your head. For me, just writing it in that app that lists out all the tweets I'm going to do really helps with my brain. And then that helps me be more creative. I get that one idea out and that's it. I think it helps to get that idea out and then at least write a blog post about it, because then you have your copy and your script for everything else moving forward and you're ready to go. The other thing that I just wanted to touch on is if this is too complicated, which this was too complicated for me, this notebook, this strategy that I jotted down in this random page in the notebook. This was too complicated for me when I first started posting content. I just did it. I just said, Brielle, you have these ideas. You can add value. Maybe you can help somebody. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Just post the damn content, because if you don't get started, you're never going to know what you need to do to improve. So before I started actually like doing it, like doing the thing, I thought I needed all of the appropriate podcasting equipment, the, vlogging equipment, the special light, the microphone, all of that stuff. You don't need it. Just start. Those things will come. You might even become monetized and be able to use some of the money you make off of your Facebook reels to buy something like that. My setup today, I never would have dreamed to do a YouTube video like this in the past. I have, our treadmill folded up in the background. I have Dan on my lap. I have blankets on the couch. Like if you looked on the other side of the couch, the house disaster, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, people don't care, and you're going to get to a point where you can have a more professional setting. You need to just start. That is the most important thing. That's what everybody says. And once you start and get that momentum going, you're on the way. And then, you can't ever look back. Once you see the potential, once you see that you can, make money using the internet, it's really hard to look back, because let's face it, as moms, we don't have any more time to add to our day for like a hourly job, right? I already work a full-time job. If I was to, and then I run him to therapies every day. If I was to say, pick up another part-time job, trading my hours for time, hours for money, time for money. First of all, I would never see my son. I would be burnt out. It would just be impossible. So looking at ways to make money on the internet, there's so many ways. There are so many ways, and you have to just start and see what works for you. I have tried multiple different things. You learn from each failure, and you have to. So very rarely does somebody start an internet venture, digital products, selling courses, monetizing a social media channel, drop shipping. Very, 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 very rarely does somebody start one of those and make money right away and be successful at that one. There's so many people that are trying different things. So just try it. Use this content creation strategy, use pieces of it. Don't use it at all if it's too complicated. Just start. I just want people to start. And that I'm talking to myself too, because I have been all over the place posting random things. I did really just start, but now I need to start being a little bit more, a little bit more strategic, right? The strategy, a little more strategic about what I'm posting, how I'm posting it, when I'm posting it. All that stuff really adds up and helps you gain your audience. So I think that's it for today. I will have this strategy posted. I'll have it linked below at some point. I might, like I said, you have to just do it. So I might just put this video up and then eventually get the strategy up. If you really feel, oh my gosh, Brielle, please, I need it right this second, and you don't see the link, feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials and I will take a picture of it and send it to you. But I will make like a more professional looking one for everybody and put it in Canva and give you guys like a shareable link for it. So I think that's it for today. Dan, do you want to say bye to everybody for today? Dan, can you say bye-bye? Bye. Say thank you, everybody. Thanks for supporting us. Take care.